Good afternoon, Weather First meteorologist Gary Frank with an update as we talk about some of the storms that have moved through. And while they're not severe, we still want to keep you posted as it is a weather alert day. And we say that as we've been talking about this possibility for some marginally severe storms. And this is a good example of what we mean because many areas it's completely sunny. You've had a nice day, and then for about 15 minutes, that line of storms moved through. We've had a couple of them, and I want to show you first off, what's going on outside, and then a picture of the radar here as we look outside right now. Because for the most part, as we look downtown, it's been quiet. And here are the two different rounds of storms that we've kind of had as I kind of play around with this just a little bit. And you've seen the first line of storms that developed ahead of things before the front moves through. And that's why I've left the wind particles on there so you can kind of see which way the direction's moving out of the southeast and then the south here. So you've got southeast winds here. You've got south winds that have kind of been in the middle of things. And then you've got that southwest wind behind it. That'll eventually change, but still it is kind of indicative of where the front lies at the moment. So some of these storms that have moved through, this is the strongest one that we have at the moment from Highland to Mascouda to Lebanon and Breeze and Carlisle. You're still going to see this here over the next few minutes. And what I want to point out is just where this thing is moving and how quick it's moving, because I think for the most part, it's still moving at about 35 miles an hour. So let's put a track on this based on what that is and moving from, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more and show you where this is specifically because, you know, the areas that it's impacting, you're getting up to quarter-sized hail. We've had a ton of reports of pea-sized hail. And as we talk about what we need to get any severe thunderstorm warning, it would have to be something that's quarter size or larger. And so that's why we're talking about this is going to impact Carlisle at about 4:56 at about 35 miles an hour. So you have some time. This is not causing any damage, but it's a brief, good burst of rain. And as I switch this, I'll switch this on the full screen so I can show you a couple of different things here as we've got, when it comes to the hail core of this, which there isn't specifically a hail core, but maybe if we're looking at this area right here, this is probably where we have the biggest hail. And as a result, it's going to show that it's an ungodly amount of rain per hour, right? That is not the case, but queuing up the rest of it, this is a pretty good rain. And even though it's moving about 35 miles an hour, you're going to get a quick half an inch of rain. There's a lot of heavy rainfall rates with this. But what I do want to point out when we're looking at some of the hail core, and that's really what we're looking at here. The hail is right in the middle of this. There are some pea-sized amounts, and if it's anywhere, it's moved through Lebanon. It's near Summerfield, and that's where you're going to see. This is just south of Highway 50 here. Aveston, Breeze, just south of there. These are the areas that I'd look at specifically for any hail, so keep that in mind from south of Breeze, north of Germantown, north of New Baden. That's where you're seeing some of that. And you might be dealing with some pea-sized hail here north of Mascouda into New Baden, but it's just something that I mentioned, and I'll even put this on a different product for you so you can really see how high these storms are moving with the latest slice of the radar here. You look at, while some of these storms are not incredibly impressive when it comes to their height, they definitely are showing just a little bit of, the fact that they have upwards of 20,000 feet perhaps as we just kind of, cue this up. And I think that's where you're looking at probably the highest, at least an opportunity for some of that pea-sized hail here, some of these 15, maybe 20,000 foot cloud tops. Otherwise, our temperatures have responded quite a bit as a result. And I don't think this is a situation where we're going to see this front move through and it changes our temps a lot, because you can see the rain cool there from Forest Park to Alton to Edwardsville. It's not rained yet in Mascouda. It will. It'll drop your temps, but behind it, we got a southwest breeze. It's picking your temps right back up. So despite us getting close to sunset, I think we're still going to be in pretty good shape. You'll notice this line of storms. That's the one that's almost moving out. As this continues to move through 6, 7 o'clock in an area that really hadn't rained all that much, it's just something to look out for. We might see a quarter-sized hail severe thunderstorm warning. That's what we're tracking the rest of the evening. I think for the most part, things are clearing out, and after sunset, this is just about out of here. But I just want to keep you posted through about 7 or 8 o'clock. This is not something you have to worry about as we head into the overnight hours. In fact, we'll drop into the mid to upper 40s. We're going to see clearing conditions, and that's great for the eclipse, right? For the most part, that front clears us out through a lot of this. And as we talk about, once again, what it could look like, It can be completely sunny, it can be completely cloudy, or we can have a few clouds around. We're trending toward the few clouds around. It's just what type of clouds. You'll see that as this front moves through, we don't have much going on. And as we look into the panhandle, there's not much going on either. But that's where we're going to look at from our high clouds perspective. Because as we look at the 4 different models, and I'll pull this on the full screen so you can see it maybe just a little better. You know, from model 1, 2, 3, or 4, there are some spots that maybe look a little bit more ominous than others, or it looks a little bit more clear. And I think the bottom line is we're going to see cloud cover. This is not going to be fully sunny, but it's what kind of cloud cover. And if you're just joining us and following along for your eclipse preparation, as we look at clouds develop, there's going to be some high cloud cover that develops by Monday morning. And we'll start off incredibly sunny, but off to our southwest, it's that cloud cover that settles in. And I think that we're going to see, as the eclipse starts at 12:30, a few high clouds. What type of high clouds? You'll notice the few breaks are going to be settling in. This particular look at Futurecast, which I think is probably what's going to happen, is there will be pockets of clouds from Effingham, maybe Mount Vernon, whatever, but I think that there's going to be enough varying thickness where everybody's going to see it. Some of you may be completely sunny, but it's probably going to look something like this, where it's pretty clear. We're going to be able to see the eclipse very well through that, right? There's some clouds here, but you also look at some thicker areas here and there, and that's where it may cover it up. Keep in mind, the further you go inside this eclipse area, the more likely you are to have longer duration of totality, and that's where you're going to be able to see it a little bit better. I don't think at any point we're going to see much thicker high clouds, but there could be pockets of them that could impact that totality. So at this point, when you look at most of us being able to see this, I think that still lines up pretty well, but we'll have to keep a close eye on it. If we have those thicker high clouds, that could obscure the sun enough during totality where you don't get to see what you're looking forward to see. It's still going to get dark, but I want to be able to see that corona and other things like that. Showers Tuesday, more rain Wednesday and Thursday, but I think more of that's trending off to the southeast as we watch that track. And then we're trending warmer again and back close to 80 degrees by next weekend.